Thank God it's Friday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Obiajulu Ugu. How are you today?
Hi, excellent morning, ladies. I'm doing well. So I've just been feeling bad for my children because of school traffic. They get home like 6:30, 7 p.m. on a daily basis, and it's so, when they come home, they are so tired, they still have homework to do, and that's because that's a Lekki way. It's always blocked, the roads are not so good, and it's just one way in and one way out, so they stay in traffic for hours. We've been having conversation. Are you sure we'll not bring these kids closer to us so that we avoid this traffic? Even today, I had to tell them to stay at home. They should do online. Okay. Yeah, yesterday they brought them back by 8:30. They had not left that spot, so brought them back home. Dropped all the kids off, and they did online. I said today, please do online. So I think there's some construction work going on that road, and I'm having a rethink. One of the reasons I decided on that school was for the facilities they had, but they are not even enjoying the facilities because they are day students. One. They are in the bus. They are not able to traffic. They are not able to do the activities. So I just
want to put planning boarding. I'm thinking. Well, we'll see.
Those are many things that you consider.
How are you doing, Nima? Is everything?
It's tough being a parent in Lagos. Beside these things, what you're going through now has been my whole story since I birthed my kids and they are to school. But we sorted one to boarding, the other one is still bearing the situation. Wow. I stopped by at the shrine last night, so to stay with YK and do some more elaboration. But me, I couldn't do all night. Everybody was like, you lived in the morning. I said, me, Nima, I'm leaving at 9 o'clock.
That's even there. You tried. We're happy.
YK is such a great hostess. Oh, she's such a great hostess. And I saw the authority when she was doing her security check. Was when I left. So she walked me all the way to the hotel. And everybody, YK power. You, what are you? This is how old.
You know, my brother, his wife, and the whole team, there are about 6 of them. They came in just for celebration. They're leaving on Tuesday. Like, they arrived yesterday, and it's like, how would I leave a whole Obodo?
The cup of celebration.
I understand. Just like, but we know people come from all over the world. Just say that. The thing that Nigerians too are seeing the value in celebration. They're leaving their work, their family, and they're bringing the whole 6 of them came just to watch celebration.
You know what you have in your backyard, you don't value.
Yeah, I'm saying it's just celebration. I'm YK now. Isn't that YK? Yeah.
Just like when my children found out that she is Fela's child, she is Fumi Ransom Kuti's grandchild. The person they talked about in our book in school, in our history, that's his daughter. That's how they see it. I'm fine. So my daughter's school, they're celebrating the Day of Girl Child, the International Day of the Girl Child. So they asked the girls to dress up, only the girls, so she dressed up in pink shirts and blue jeans. The boys would go in school uniform. Oh, see how special the girls are feeling. I love it. I thought it was good. Yeah. So on the day for the boys too, the boys will come, I'm sure, maybe dressed in blue. But today the girls are the special girls. Yeah. My daughter is all over. She got these glasses that has lights and everything. She's like, yes.
We showed them today. Oh my goodness. You know, we did that on Wednesday, and my daughter was so happy. She was so unhappy because I got her regular Ankara that was in the house, the old. She said she wanted something new. She said, I'm sorry, you told me late. I'm not going to. She was insisting I'm going to buy. I didn't answer. I want to hold your sister.
Plugs.
And those last minute plugs.
Last minute plugs.
Just she didn't forget that feeling your daughter felt like, oh no, I'm here. She wore an old top in the house. You'll be all right.
We wore old top and old jeans. She went to pick it up. She
didn't like all the things she had in the house. So she was just like, she wanted something. She kept telling me, I want to look really nice. I'm like, you look nice now. This is green and yellow. You're all right. But it's all good. I'm happy. Okay, it's Friday. So much happening. Let's go on a quick break. When we return, we'll look at the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, we're going to start with The Nation. Atiku's appeal lacks facts, Tinubu tells Supreme Court. Why FEC has not reconvened. Kwara Poli disowns suspected killers of hotelier. How CBN's lifting of restrictions on 43 items will affect economy. Work begins on 260 federal roads nationwide. Olukoyede gets nod as EFCC chairman. Africa's debt relief call legitimate, says IMF MD. And 2 die, 4 injured in Osun church building collapse. Okay, which story?
Should I start with
there's also the PSC promotes 5,718 police officers.
That was Erika.
Okay.
So this
Go
one,
ahead.
The IMF boss, the managing director of the IMF, Christina Georgieva, was addressing the African debt issue, of course, and she said in 2022, public debt in Africa put together has reached $1.8 trillion, and that this is just a fraction of the overall outstanding debt of developing countries. Africa's debt has increased by 183% since 2010, and this is 4 times higher than its growth rate of gross, that's GDP, gross domestic product in dollar terms. So she says that the call for countries for debt relief or debt cancellation remains legitimate, and she says that only that the debtors and the creditor countries, the Paris Club and all of those countries, creditors, China, Saudi Arabia, and Brazil, all of them must agree with these African developing countries on the terms of the cancellation. But she agrees that we deserve it.
Okay, let me take the CBN. So experts and organized private sector have hailed the CBN's new policy to lift foreign exchange restrictions on the importation of 43 items. They said the move would create jobs and strengthen the economy. Some of the items are the rice, maize, wheelbarrows, private airplane jets, Indian incense, tinned fish in sodas like geisha and sardines, palm kernel, palm oil products, so many others. So the idea, according to this report, is that these 43 items can now be sourced, the forex to get them can now be sourced through the CBN. In the past, many of them had to go through the parallel market or through the black market to get the dollar for these imports, and that obviously caused the demand, and that's part of the rise we saw in the increase. But however, experts are also fearing that this might affect local production, because 8 years ago when this policy was introduced, the idea was to strengthen local production. But we've seen that even with that, people are still smuggling this thing. Somehow it's still getting through the market. So CBN has added this 43 now to the list of items they can actually source for dollars, although other experts are also worried that, according to some experts, they said that they are really worried of the availability. I think BC had mentioned that during the break.
The forex.
That we believe that the efficacy of the new policy is likely to be subject to the extent of improvement in forex supply at the IE window. This view considers the anticipated increase in forex demand at the window following the lifting of the ban. So,
if we're not exporting, we will not have enough forex to share.
And the little we have, is being sucked right now. So we're hoping that with this, now that the CBN is saying, come to us for dollars, we are hoping that the availability to be available for them to use.
We have to export more for us to have these dollars we're talking about. We just have to, we have to earn the dollars. We don't have.
So I have Kwara State Polytechnic. So there's been a story that's been out about 2 young ladies who have been accused, allegedly, of killing a hotelier. They claim that it was a, how do I put this in breakfast TV conversation? There was supposed to be a relationship of some sort where 3 of them were involved, and it involved them tying up the person's hands and legs, and in the course of it, but they also had the intention of robbing him, and in the course of it, he died. And so the story out there was that they are students of the Kwara Polytechnic. So the school is giving us an update to say that, they've gone through their data and they found out that these 2 young ladies had since been withdrawn from the school in their first year after a poor academic performance. So they are not students of their institution, of their great institution. So that was just to put out there. But the girls' names are Joseph Joy Adama and Vandora Oreoluwa Favor, and they are facing this big crime of allegedly killing someone that they were in a relationship.
The man went to quarantine and went to heaven from there.
No, did you see the physical parading of them?
No, I didn't.
They went all out to rob him and use any means to achieve it. They also drugged him, so they should have foreseen.
They knew what they were doing.
The possible outcome of, because they tried to even stuff his mouth, so he doesn't make noise.
So President Bola Ahmed Tinubu approved more than 260 road repairs across the 36 states of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory. So the Minister of Works, David Umahi, was the one who announced this while he was, addressing reporters after he had a meeting with the President at the presidential villa yesterday. And he says that the emergency repairs will go up about 217 billion. And the president has approved more road interventions, including project upgrades. So they mentioned some of the roads. He said he approved the resurfacing of the Third Mainland Bridge, construction of Lekki Deep Seaport Road, both in Lagos, reconstruction of 2 collapsed bridges in Enugu, and reconstruction of 2 locations on the Onitsha-Owerri Road. They also mentioned some other construction going on, including the upgrading of the ongoing Abuja-Kefi-Akwanga Lafia Road and the dualization of Lafia bypass. Right. And they are saying that I think this Exim Bank is one that is funding, China Exim Bank is one that is funding this, and the way the government wants to make sure that all the roads are working efficiently for us.
Okay. The Punch. Forex crisis, CBN raises dollar supply, list ban on cement and 42 other items. Diesel-laden tanker crashes on Lagos highway, traps bus. LPPC names 58 lawyers, SAN, and drops 11 professors. 2 die, others injured in Osun collapsed building. PSC promotes 12 commissioners, 5,706 police personnel. Israeli Hamas, US, UK, India evacuate citizens. Death hits 2,700. Complete AAK gas pipeline 2024. Federal government orders contractors. And articles evidence from Chicago irrelevant, Tinubu tells Supreme Court.
Yeah, so a tanker laden with diesel, they said, fell around the Otedola Bridge yesterday and trapped a white bus, according to eyewitnesses. And even the bus driver, he says he was just, in traffic and trying to join traffic, and before he knew it, this tanker had fallen on him. So the good news is that no lives were lost. The police say that it looks like a situation where there was brake failure and speeding involved as well. But then when it fell, it spilled its content, and we had Nigerians carrying buckets and all sorts of things, trying to scoop, not trying, in fact, scooping oil. And then when the authorities got there and tried to stop them, they thought it was, why are you stopping us? They said, we're just wasting. Look at how the oil is just wasting when we could be taking it away. So Nigerians don't understand there is a risk.
Implications,
the implications of doing that. What if it had gone off? But thankfully, no lives were lost. But yesterday as well, they said another petrol-laden tanker exploded in the Sari Gomo area of the state. That was much later at night. And, but the Punch is saying at the time of the report, they were still combating the fire. So we don't know what the casualties were because, that area is quite busy, especially around that time of the night. And I just truly hope that there were no lives lost in that incident as well. But I think we'll wait for an update.
Okay, and that's story in Punch.
Yes, so Minister of State Petroleum Resources, talked to contractors handling the 614-kilometer Jakarta Kaduna Kanu gas pipelines project not to default on the promised July-August 2024 completion deadline that they had given. So the spokesperson for the minister, Louis Iba, in a statement yesterday said the deadline was issued while the minister was on tour of the project on Thursday. And, the minister had expressed concern over the slow pace of work and was demanding the contractors handling the segment of the project, asking them when it will be completed. And so they made that promise that by July, August, it will be ready. So they also said there are some challenges that is affecting or slowing down the AKK gas pipeline. And they mentioned insecurity in the neighboring Niger states and also right of way, according to them, said there are a lot of rocks and rivers and that portion of the road, that's what's slowing them. So they are now working with company, NMPCL, and security agencies to ensure that they are able to, give them an opportunity. If they can handle the security issues, then the workers can work 24 hours to make sure that they meet up with the deadline for July and August.
All right, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table.
Ikechukwu Sunday Okonkwo, aka Cross. Now your intro without one.
Wow.
So there's a name that thing that's.
I'm just drinking because you say I should drink. There's no particular answer.
You think it's only that can be wicked?
What's the answer?
Subterfuge.
Eh?
Yeah. They claim you did, but you said it just happened. That
And it's called what again?
Subterfuge.
Such a feud.
SUBTERFUGE.
So you look me finish from head to toe. You look at a person who go know what to be called such. Yeah.
The nude wasn't like.
Thanks for staying with us. So a collapsed building in Osun State claimed the lives of 2 people. There was a building, an uncompleted building being used as a church. According to the report in The Punch, the building owner, one woman amongst the victims, died while on the admission in hospital. Some minutes about 7 p.m., a few minutes to 7 p.m., that's when the members in the community heard a noise, and it was the building that came down. They got there and rushed them to the hospital. The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, the spokesperson, that's Kehinde Adeleke, was confirming that it was a church, it was an incomplete building which is being used for a church, and the building collapsed, and they've warned them not to be using these, because according to them, there were workers working in that building at the time of collapse, so it was obviously not strong enough to be in use. So 4 people were trapped under the rubble. They were later evacuated and taken to the nearby hospital. 3 women and a man were evacuated, of which 2 eventually died. Oh, really sad.
The Police Service Commission has announced the promotion of about 5,718 officers, and they specifically promoted 12 commissioners of police to the next rank of the AIG. I'm hoping it benefits us. The Assistant Commissioner of Police were also promoted to the position of deputy commissioners across board. I don't want to complete all the figures, but they did the veterinary doctors within the police service as well, who were also promoted. I'm just happy.
It's important, these promotions happen.
It's very important too. There must be career growth.
Yes, people must see it.
Yes, and they must be care for their welfare. So the promotions usually comes with, some
benefits and
housing is extremely important to police
housing.
Housing.
I just wish they could do it just generally.
Yes, I'm hoping that they will do a private partnership thing where private contractors will come and take over police barracks, demolish and rebuild to proper standards, modern standards.
Vanguard. Article cooked up allegations against me, Tinubu tells Supreme Court. LPPC elevates 58 lawyers to SAN's rank. CBN at World Bank announces $1 trillion GDP target. Era of exporting raw materials over, says Alake. Apapa gridlock. Lagos government impounds 18 trucks for the indiscriminate parking. No discrepancies in Obi's certificate, says Labour Party. Tinubu appoints Olu Koyede, EFCC chairman, Hamajoda secretary. Reps invite Minister Diaspora Commission over alleged maltreatment of Nigerians in Ethiopia. Infrastructure revamp key to our economic policies, says Shetima. Okay, which story are we starting with?
I took a story.
Go ahead.
So, Nigerian Navy ship NNS Beecroft, Apapa Lagos, intercepted a boat alleged to be smuggling in foreign rice from neighboring West African countries into Nigeria. I took it inside. And I told
I was looking for this story.
So they said they seized 44 bags of rice loaded in the boats, and there were no arrests because by the time they were about to catch those people, those ones swam away. So they just left the boat and left the rice. And this happened at about 5 a.m. on Wednesday in Agbara. And according to the report, they said the surveillance system through the Falcon Eye alignment employed by Nigerian Navy to ensure peace and tranquility within the maritime environment was what detected the activities of these saboteurs. And they are saying now they have been bringing, because they stopped them from bringing their huge consignments, they now smuggle it in gradually, little by little, so they don't carry a lot at the same time. But, the idea is for us to be able to grow our own locally made rice. So they are going to be working, the Navy is going to be working hand in hand with customs, which they have handed over the 42 bags of rice to customs to ensure that they are not allowing these saboteurs to just get away with what is happening.
Okay, so the LPPC, there's a legal practitioner privileges committee, has promoted 58 lawyers to the rank of the senior advocate. This was announced by the Chief Registrar of the Supreme Court, Mrs. Hajo Sareki, who is also the Secretary of the LPPC. But only one professor from the academia was, promoted to the position of SAN along with these lawyers. I always noticed back in school, the lawyers practicing as lecturers hated the fact that they also have to be burdened by public, court practices to be able to get SAN position. And, the person would have done his thesis, there should be a standard, that works for that promotion for them as well. But congratulations to the new learned citizens.
So this says the House of Representatives has resolved to invite the Minister of Foreign Affairs and also the Chairman, NIDCOM, Nigeria Diaspora Commission, to brief them on preventive measures taken to protect Nigerians and air travelers to Addis Ababa. They say that, this is the House Minority Leader, Kingsley Chinda, in a debate had noted that there's an alleged incidence of victimization, maltreatment, and forced imprisonment of Nigerians, including air travelers in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. They said that they had received an SOS call or message where a Nigerian, recounted his experience of being arrested and put in prison in Ethiopia. They're saying that some Nigerians are also currently serving at the, I'm not sure if the pronunciation is not Chayota or Kayota maximum security and other prisons in Ethiopia. There's stories of them being, arrested and taken to the hospital, forcibly injecting them with some substances and then later taken to prison facilities. So they would like for the minister and the chairman NIDCOM to come and sit with them, let them understand what's happening there, what do we have in place for the protection of Nigerians in Addis Ababa, and just, investigate this whole thing that is happening there. So they've resolved to call them for this meeting, and when they do, would like to hear, how this goes.
So the Minister of Solid Minerals and Development, Mr. Dele Alake, has stated the policy valuation. He has restated the policy of value addition, actually, by any company with the license, requisite license and permit to mine materials, saying that the era of just exporting our raw materials is over. Specifically, he said, I will emphasize value addition as a policy of government for the mine sector, and I will urge stakeholders and potential investors to embrace it to boost the economy, to bring forth foreign exchange. So he was in Nasarawa State, where at the stone laying ceremony of factory processing of lithium battery in Nasarawa State, which is a great thing. He was also applauding the governor for this huge initiative, saying that they acknowledge the significance of foundation stone laying ceremony process of 16,000 tons of lithium battery. So that's the value addition is asking. Just take our raw materials and go. You can actually create jobs and improve our economy by processing, adding value here in Nigeria, which is a great thing. So he's saying it's also encouraging other governors across different states who can also do the same thing, where we can see where they can partner with federal government to ensure that they add value to the raw materials that God has given us.
I also hope that they are discussing our environmental policies as they do this, mining.
You have a story in value.
Yes. So
that's 2 stories in Vanguard.
Yes, now I took one in front. Ginger farmers are now dying of shock. It's just painful. So Ginger Farmers Association of Nigeria, people that farm our ginger that we used to cook our stew, said many of their members collected loans for the farming season, and they are dying of shock in 7 states. So the national president, Nuhu Bagari Audu, said this when he led the delegation to thank the Senate and Senator Sunday Marshall for sponsoring a motion on the ginger disease that's affecting farmers. So there's actually a disease that's eating up all of their ginger. And they said they've lost 10 billion to ginger disease in Kaduna State alone. 5 billion had been lost in Benue, Niger, Plateau, Nasarawa, Kano, and Akwa Ibom. And it was shocking to hear that they have actually been exporting this ginger outside the country, and it's going to be affecting the GDP. So, they're asking for help to see how they can solve. This is the time we're going to be calling all the professors in our universities that are teaching agriculture to find solution to this disease. We need to know the name of the disease and see what we can do to...
Okay, moving on to the Nigerian Tribune. Let's find a story. We're not taking dismissed articles appeal for lacking merit, says Tinubu. Navy destroys 3 million litre capacity illegal refinery camps in rivers. Tinubu appoints Olukoyede as new EFCC chairman. FG approves over 260 emergency road repairs. Ajilo Falana's wife, 56 others for SAN rank. And how flood affected cassava, maize, beans in 18 states, says report.
Yeah, I have the Nigerian Navy ship NNS Pathfinder. They said on Wednesday they destroyed a 3 million litre capacity illegal refinery with 6 refining camps in Cawthorne Channel. They said that this channel is located, these illegal refinery camps are located within the Cawthorne Channel, 2 in Degema local government area of Rivers State. He says what these oil thieves do is that they steal crude oil from the wellhead operated by NNPCL, right? And then they have installed this 6-inch pipeline running over 2 kilometers from the wellhead to the 3 million capacity reservoir, which distributes crude to the 6 illegal refining camps. The commander of the NNS, his name is Commodore Desmond Igbo, says that the illegal refinery and operators were not only sabotaging the nation's economy, but destroying the environment as well because of the way that they were doing it. So due to the investigations, they were able to, clamp down on that. And they said that they're going to continue in doing so, But they are saying to ensure that this does not continue, they are speaking to the communities, engaging the youth in the communities, all other stakeholders, talking to them about how to not encourage or be a part of, this oil theft that is going on, because without their involvement in this fight, it will not go anywhere. But to tell you that, they have several of these camps, and we've been hearing them, clamping down on them over we have quite a few of them, and I'm happy that, we're able to close them down, and maybe, hopefully, this will stop.
So President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has responded to the appeal filed by Abubakar Atiku at the Supreme Court, of course, against the PEPT tribunal outcome that, happened early, last month. When was it again? So they were, of course, still questioning the victory that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had at the February 2015 elections. He is saying that all the issues, especially that of the FCT, filed by Atiku are irrelevant. He says that, of course, his entire response and his own appeal defense filed is questioning everything that Atiku is appealing against. So we're looking to see the outcome of the Supreme Court.
Sorry. So we have the president had appointed the new EFCC chairman, Mr. Ola Olukoyede, as chairman of the EFCC, that's Economic Financial Crimes Commission, and he's taken over from the detained, current suspended chairman of that Bar. If you remember, he was Abdul Rashid Bar, was actually suspended from and he had to then eventually resign. This person in particular has actually worked in the EFCC as chief of staff, I think in 2013 to 2018. He has 22 years of experience as a regulatory compliance consultant and specialist in fraud management and corporate intelligence. So he's somebody obviously fit for the job. Some have even said he's an RCCG pastor. We don't even know, but either way,
it doesn't matter. If it
doesn't really matter as long as he just does the job. And then there's somebody else who was appointed as secretary. I think it was let me get the name right. It's Mr. Mohammed Hassan Hamajoda to serve as secretary to the EFCC, and this is also renewable after 4 years. That is all we can take on today's review. When we return, we move on to our hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome the grand comedian of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Benga Dainka the First. OJ right here, 7 of 7, like you already know.
Benga right here, 7 of 7, like I'm beginning to know.
It's now time for the questions.
You don't scare me one bit. Bata, I go drink. So.
Okay. So now one chance for Inter. My first question. Do you remember the names of the winners of that edition of StarQuest?
Of course I do.
Why do you?
And I hate myself for this. Because I have this question for you. Final question. No. Where outside Nigeria and what year? Think you're the only one that can be wicked.
I am thinking, because I know back in the day.
Don't think. Answer my question quick. You are thinking too much. I don't like it.
The UK.
Final answer. Okay. I said, God, please, let me to perform outside Nigeria.
Wait.
And God gave me a show in Ghana. Drink, my friend, drink. I don't
overthink this thing. See where I can.
Yes, you overthink them.
I would say you should catwalk.
Let's catwalk. Where are we?
No, that's not catwalking.
That's good talking.
Ladies and gentlemen, multiple award-winning actor, producer, ambassador of Edo people, we have Etinosa Idemudia in the building.
Not be first to go police station, they win the case.
Is
So
she?
you are showing yourself.
I go say that's my second
You are
question.
feeling like a contact the prancing peacock. I'm about to cut your wings. Hello? Now, in the amalgamation of 1914, who was the woman who drew the line of the amalgamation? Who cut the report? Who is the person that used scissors? What is his name?
That woman.
Thanks for staying with us. Joining us on the show this morning is the Director General, and Chief Executive Officer of the Standard Organizations of Nigeria, SON, Malam Farouk Salim. He will be speaking extensively on the agency's fight against substandard products in Nigeria. He'll be speaking on the challenges and the objectives of this significant regulatory agency. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. Pleasure.
So we saw reports about you recently where you were talking about confiscating certain tires and various products from different organizations where it was either they're smuggled in or they're selling it, that they're just repackaging these things for Nigerians. Tell us the process of certification. Let's just start with there. How does your organization even work and function? How do you see these things? What's your entire procedure? Let's start from that to even know how you function.
The process of certification depends on the product. Okay. If it's a manufactured product in Nigeria, we have what we call MANCAP. So our engineers and experts will go into a factory facility, inspect the facility, and certify it to be sure it's safe for both the employees and the product. And then we check the product in our lab. We have a big lab in Oba, about 48 accredited small labs in there. So we check your product to make sure it's compliant with whatever standards are. Then we give you a certificate saying your product is up to standard. For products coming into the country, we have a conformity assessment called SONCAP. Now that SONCAP is we have international accredited firms like Bureau of Veritas, Cotegna. These are companies worldwide. So what they do is they go to factories in different countries in the world. They inspect the factories, they inspect the products they are producing. They give them product certification, which is PC. So that product certification applies to everybody. So now we want to go and buy this product from the factory. They will give you the product certification copy. You bring it to the IAFs, which is International Accredited Firm. Then they will give you what we call SONCAP. And the SONCAP is a program we have with Nigeria and these companies. So they charge you a token fee. It doesn't matter how many containers you're importing. It's just $300 for that certification. Then you come into the country. The first thing you introduce to the customs is your bill of lading and then the SONCAP certificate, which you obtain from that country.
Yeah.
So then we don't have anything to do with it if it has a SONCAP. So now when you bring it into Nigeria, you want to sell it in the public, you come to our product registration office and you bring the product and then we look at it, we test it, and then we give you a certificate for that particular product. Some companies have up to 50 certificates because of different products they bring in. So now, as a consumer, when you go to the market to buy, you ask them, do you have a certificate? Then they show you a certificate. Or you can look at the place like this one, you see a stamp that says SON on it.
Okay.
So that's one aspect. We have a new aspect we're introducing now in December. It's called Product Authentication Mark. Now that is a mark where we inspect all the products. We make sure they're up to date. We know their source. We know how long they are going to be good, if they're expiring, if there are products that expire. If there are no products that expire, all the information will be put in the computer. Then we give you the sticker. So now when you go to the market, instead of buying a product like you do with drugs and scratching to see if it's authentic or not, this time around, before you buy, you just scan it. If you don't have a smartphone, there's a text number. You take the number on the label, text it. Then you get a text back saying, this is the product, has been registered by SON, and this is how good it is. So we call that PAM. So now our new slogan in December will be, before you buy it, PAM it.
Nice. That would be nice.
Technology at work.
Yeah. Are these for just imported products or products manufactured in Nigeria?
For ease of doing business and political expedition, we now confine it to products are coming into the country because our local manufacturers are already saddled with infrastructure problems, electricity and all that good stuff. So an additional 5 naira per product may look small, but it will be big for the local manufacturers. So for our local manufacturers, it's a voluntary process. They can volunteer to join, which I assure you they will, because eventually when they see the benefit, I mean, when people get used to this thing, they'll go to the market and say, oh no, it doesn't have palm, I'm not buying. Because it's an automatic indictment that this product is something wrong with it. So we have to make sure that this product is good. So with time, our local manufacturers are going to join, but for now, only the imports first.
Okay.
So I wanted to find out how seamless this registration is, because for the longest time, end users have always been at the receiving end of substandard products. As a matter of fact, when you asked, where did you buy it? You bought it here. It can never be original.
Yes.
So I wanted to, find out if this registration has been easy for these importers of products to go through, and why is it that a lot of them still are not covered by this organization?
Well, the issues are multifaceted, because some importers know what they're importing is substandard. So essentially, they smuggle the product in. Neither the customs or the SON or any other organization know. They'll just bring it into the country. Because generally, the old saying goes, if you protest too much, that means there's something wrong with what's going on. So basically, if you have an authentic product, all you have to do is bring it, and we test it, and we give you a certificate. But most of these people, sometimes what they do is they will look at a successful product, like our Nigerian local cable manufacturers, electrical cable manufacturers. They are very good. They are up to standard because we work with them over the years. We inspect their facility on a regular basis. So basically, people now go to foreign countries and say, instead of Nokako or Mecom, add another O somewhere or add another thing somewhere. So they fake the product. They do that with our lubricants too. Our Owando, our Amasco products are excellent because they are accepted internationally. Now people are faking them.
Wow.
So the thing is, if you want to address substandard goods generally, you have to address a holistic measure. First, the individuals buying these products, because if there's no market, there won't be seller. Like you look at how drastic measures are for people importing illegal drugs into the country, cocaine and everything. Yet people are still doing it because it's a high profit, high demand deal. So we encourage, what we are doing in Standard Organization of Nigeria is to approach the thing holistically. We go to the customers and say, don't ask for cheap products. Don't ask for tukumbo. Don't ask for things that are used. If you go to any market today, to the credit of our traders, you go to any person and say, give me the original product. They will quickly bring it and say, madam, this is original. This one is fake. Or this one is okay. This one is original. So essentially, what we do is we encourage people first to not to do that. And then we are doing our enforcement on a regular basis. We do intelligence in the market. We have individuals who will buy something and they are not happy with it. They will call us. We follow up on that. We have our people checking these products, and then we have people at the ports now who, any product that comes in, we have to check it.
Okay, so I understand what you're talking about.
Yes.
When it comes to imported products. Some products are even highly, from countries that I don't want to mention this particular country, but
Yes.
are the largest producers. And
Yes.
we have people drop shipping, doing also small importation of their products. They sell it online on WhatsApp groups. Even as small as a spray bottle from that country would fail you. So how far are you going? Because I know it's easier to find somebody importing in large quantity coming through the port, but the person whose small product is coming through the airlines from one person or being handled by cargo or courier companies.
Yes.
How do you go about checking those?
No, SON is at the port of entries now. So even the airport, Murtala Mohammed Airport and Nnamdi Azikiwe, we have our people there, manning those places. And the country you mentioned, unfortunately, 99.9% of the fault is still ours. Because it's Nigerians who will go to them and say, make this product for me. I remember a long time ago, like in 1999, I'm from Kano, so, we do trade all the time. I'm a pharmacist. When I was a pharmacist in America, I was trying to do some things in Nigeria. So I went to China to buy some things. And the guy saw my passport. He thought, since I'm coming from America, I want a product to ship to America. So he was giving me prices for standard products. I said, no, I'm shipping to Nigeria. He said, oh, okay. So what strength do you want? So it's an attitude issue that we have to address. And that's one of the reasons why in the National Assembly, the 9th National Assembly, we took our act and have it reviewed so that we can increase the penalties. Because before, if you have a product that is life-threatening, you still have an option to pay a fine or to go to jail. So unfortunately, after they passed the law there was transition and then the days lapsed. So now we are trying to bring it back so that Mr. President will sign it because we are putting mandatory jail terms. A big person importing bad things doesn't want to go to jail for even 1 day. So we feel that we have to enforce our laws so that we make it more expensive for these people to do what they're doing.
Let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
If you don't jump, the person gonna jam you.
You know, every time you open that your stupid mouth.
Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome the one who can make time stand still forever, Mr. Kelechi Amadi. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, my brother.
You love that intro, Abi?
Yeah. It was great.
Okay,
Thank you.
We try like that.
Thank you.
Now my question, which I feel is a cheap question.
Oh, go ahead.
What does ISO stand for?
That is it. I think I'll drink.
No, you're joking.
I'm not joking.
Kelechi Amadi. No. Shay, you didn't whine me. You're whining me now.
I think I'll drink.
Huh?
No problem.
Okay.
I've always known it as ISO. I never bothered to know what it means. I know what it means, but I never bothered to know what the acronym is. Tell me the brand of camera that I use, so much so that I even became an ambassador. That's very easy. It's out there.
It's supposed to be,
yeah. I just said, let me give you this one as a token of my appreciation.
Sony.
Drink!
I'm not done. You did not say final answer.
It's final answer.
You did not ask me if that was my final answer.
You don't have any choice again. It's only
Nikon.
how many cameras do they have? My
Nikon.
friend to drink. I gave you a very easy something.
Nikon now. This is 7 of 7. My name is OJ and signing a sobriety into my hands tonight on this social experiment called the 7 of 7. It's Owen G. What is the name? Or what was the name? You see, I want to make them better now.
Rock Heart.
No, of the goats. When they brought it on stage.
The name of that goat.
Yeah.
We should go there.
No, that one easy now.
I'm just drinking this so that I can ask him my own questions. It's not because of
Buga.
he didn't get it. You know. Okay. Mention 10 female stand-up comedians in Nigeria. See, just mention their stage name. If you annoy me, you will mention their real names and the year they started. And if you annoy me further, you mention the names of their husbands and the names of their children. Try me now. Okay, mention their name.
No, let's just.
No, wait. No, don't. No. Name, real name, stage name, husband name, children name. 10 of them.
Even the 10. That's a lot.
Eh?
That's a lot.
Did I cut your question for you?
Yes.
When you were happy now. With your hunchback.
That was it.
You are wasting time. We don't have time. See, my brother, before we go on a commercial break, you are stubborn. And I told you since. The fact that you play this your hair does not mean. You understand? See this bad hair you are looking at. It's experience. I've suffered before you.
But I try now.
When you there during the military era of Abacha and Babangida, you know what happened?
I be Gen Z.
So that
Gen Z,
I will remove 4 out of 10.
That's like
4 out of 10 they pass exam. Don't drink this thing. Where baby you are on here. Drink out. If I land you.
Ladies and gentlemen, multiple award-winning actor, producer, ambassador of Edo people, we have Etinosa Idemudia in the building.
Not be first to go police station, they win the case.
Let's
So
see.
you are showing yourself.
I go say that's my second
You are
question.
feeling like a contact the prancing peacock. I'm about to cut your wings. Hello.
Thanks for staying with us. We still have the DG of SON with us, Standard Organization of Nigeria. You said something about if there is no demand, there wouldn't be a supply.
Yes.
But the truth is that there are people who want to have certain things and they can't afford the original. So, for example, I want to buy a blender. I can't afford a blender in the stores. I'll go to down the street where I know I can have second-hand Tokumbo version. I want a toaster, like I see my boss is using a toaster. I also want a toaster too. I can't afford his own, but I like to go down the street and see, So there is a need for these second-hand products. What is SON doing? I mean, are you against those guys importing those second-used products that Nigerians need? Or are you saying that we shouldn't patronize those guys at all, regardless?
I have two answers for you, and I want to, first of all, to talk about affording. When you use the word, I can't afford, then don't afford. Save. When I was in the US for 31 years, most of us working there, we saved money for 5-day vacation in Jamaica for the whole year. So we can afford it. So Nigerians should learn to save to afford. That's one. The second thing is, if you are in my position, there is 1 million used tires coming to Nigeria. Technically, you have to check every tire to make sure that particular used one is up to standard, because the person who used them is not the same. The same thing with your toaster, the same thing with your microwave. The person who used the microwave overseas, you don't know how they used it, you don't know if they fixed it, you don't know if they check it. So for every product, for me to write a certification on it, we have to individually inspect it. So when you don't have a sample, but if it's a brand new product, from the factory you have a lot number, you inspect that lot number. And it's the same process over and over again.
Let me help Muriel on that question. Yes. Because some of these products are not produced here. For example, I don't know a company that makes toasters here yet.
Yes.
They come in all of them, they come in from a particular country.
They do.
So for us to get the best quality, because when she's talked about buying Tokumbo is not necessarily about affordability. Those of us who shop at Westminster know that when we shop at trade fair, we are buying these countries' products, comparing them to what you buy at Westminster or the Tokumbo corner in Alaba. They are two different things. There's a standard quality to the Tokumbo that you cannot deny. It's different from when you're buying batteries for your car. When you buy new batteries, old or whatever you're buying, they're the same. They're all fake. But when you buy a blender from a Tokumbo market, there's a standard to it. It lasts more, it's stronger. The one I bought when I got married 14 years ago, it's still serving me to today. The cup is just broken.
But, you see,
but the new one I bought from these countries, 3 of them, fine glass, blender, motor spoil, powder, motor spoil, and they are unfixable.
But madam, you see, the issue, what I'm trying to portray is sometimes people get lucky when they gamble.
Okay.
Because you can have a trend, right? Your blender happens, or your microwave happens to be the lucky one you have. But if it's brand new, certified by the organization in this country, that means you are sure this thing is good. So anybody going to a used car market or a used product market, you are taking a gamble, because you don't even know who used it first, where it came from, and who finished using it.
The spirit behind it too.
And the spirit, for example, my biggest problem, honestly, is this. The biggest accidents we have in this country, almost 90% of it is because of tire busting.
Yes.
True.
And the problem is, these used tires are coming to the country, they'll put 5 tires inside one tire. So if you realize tires have wire, so you squeeze all of them, and then you release it, you paint it, it looks nice, and you put air in it, and then the speed on the road is beyond normal. Here, the temperature is beyond normal, it busts. So the attitude, what I'm saying basically is, if you're an expert in knowing what a good blender should look like, so you go with your expertise and buy at your own risk, as is. But if you go to a store and buy a brand new product, there is warranty. You can take it back and get another one. If they don't give it back to you, we have Sun.
Okay,
go to us online, go to us on the phone, go to us on Instagram, Facebook, all these social media.
Let me come to Titi. I'll come to you, Mariam. Titi Lola, thanks for calling. You live.
Good morning. I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Well, concerning what Nina just said, I think she's just fortunate to have a blog on the side. I believe in buying something that is good for you. Instead of going for fairly used things, they are not good at all. I don't know why we in Nigeria would prefer to buy fairly used things instead of going for standard good things. Like, I have a friend that got a blender for 10,000 or 50,000 fairly used. And I bought my own too, new one, 20,000. Could you believe? She has to repair a blender like 4 times, 5,000 naira. And I told her, why can't you go for a standard product instead of buying fairly used things? As we Nigerians, we have to sit down and think right. We need to save to buy a quality product.
Thank you very much, Isola. Go ahead.
Yes, I mean, I feel like this particular topic is just flogged, but I'm wondering, like, on policy level, if SON is not encouraging the purchase of, Tokumbo items, why are we still, flooding our markets with it? Because it's in the open market. They're not doing it in hiding. But also, I wanted to find out, because when we were growing up, there were no SON, those stickers that we have. But now we have them. I have noticed a few of them, and I would like to know if you can tell us what the gains have been since you introduced that.
Well, first, it's good for us. It's like a trademark that we're here. And then we put our mark on products that we definitely can guarantee. And that is the point. And your question about us encouraging or discouraging used market, definitely used tires are illegal because nobody can attest to their quality. You cannot import used tire into this country. Basically, it's a smuggled thing. Other used items in the country, we're a democratic society, and it's not against the law to import used microwave or used TV. But that means people are buying as is, at your risk. You can go to a used car dealer and the car maybe doesn't have engine or anything, and then the big sign says you are buying as is. Mm-hmm. So you sign the document saying, yes, I understand the risk, and I buy. So we are not in the business of blocking other people from doing their business. As long as the Nigerian Customs and the Ministry of Finance and the federal government did not block import of used microwave, used TV, use that, then we as an organization, we cannot block it.
Okay.
But then we cannot encourage it.
Okay.
There's no need for us to encourage what we don't know.
Gotcha. Go ahead.
So what is SON doing about a lot of Nigerians still rejecting manufactured Nigerian-made products? Mm-hmm. We still have...
That is selective because honestly, if you, and I'm sure some of you have built houses already, I guarantee you, your builder will tell you, madam, use Nigerian-made cables, electrical cable. Mm-hmm. So Nigerians are not rejecting made in Nigeria. We are all human beings. We do our business based on experience. In the 70s, Japanese products, people avoid them until they got good. And now people started buying Toyota in America, and then American manufacturers now have to follow the Toyota, 5S system. So it's the same thing. Before, when we were much younger, made in Taiwan used to be a fake product.
Mm. Yeah.
So then they got better, the standards. And that's the reason why China today is the #2 economy in the world, because their products are excellent. All our iPhones are made in China.
Yes,
all of them. And that's the reason why the country moved ahead. Because when you stick to standards, Ivan Toffler, one of those old psychologists looking at future, says any country that sticks to standards and follow it, the country will be #1 or #2 economy in the world. Mm. And I feel Nigerian products, if we continue sticking to standards, Nigeria has sky high.
Okay, let me take Isioma. Thanks, Isioma, for calling. You're live.
All right. Good morning, Mariah. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Thank you. My name is Isioma, Mr. Isioma. I want to say that I appreciate the man on stage talking right now. Normally in Nigeria, when we talk like this, in the concept and everything, it looks very beautiful. But the processes that people go through to get this is also another problem concern for sellers. And secondly, I want to ask you, the quality that International Seller Organization is actually holding on to. I have bought products like Standard Fan with that label, with the sticker on it that this is verified. But I know that the quality was very, very poor. I used it under a week, the fan went back. Both the cables and everything. And meanwhile, it had the sticker of the organization. So can you tell us that whatever has a sticker of your organization is actually quality, or it just to pass through the process?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Did you get the question?
Yeah, I do. Anything that has some sticker, except on occasions where people went and duplicate our speakers illegally. We have people who are in jail right now who actually did that. They went and fake our stickers and then started putting it on their products. And then we caught the people, we took them to court, and they're serving jail terms as we speak. But anything that has some sticker on it, 99.9% is accurate, except that 0.1% where somebody copied our sticker to put it there. Because there are people who, like, if you look at the lubricant industry, the labels they do and go and create is so good that even the lubricant companies cannot tell until they open the box and pour the liquid out. Then they can tell from the quality of the liquid that this one is not their own.
Ours.
Because you have laser printing now all over the world. It's liberal. Technology has made everything liberal. We can fake anything.
So that's why the palm has to come in.
The palm has to come in because it has a number on it. It has a scanner, and so basically it will make sure that it's not.
Tomorrow is World Standards Day. So what's your plan? What are your plans for the?
Well, you ladies are invited to work with us. We are going to work from Ikeja to a couple of miles around. I can't put too much miles.
We're trekking.
Yeah, so we're going to trek on the road and make some noise, dance a little bit because we have a band following us. Just to alert the public about the Standard Day. This whole thing I'm doing now this week is all about the World Standard Week to alert people to do it. So that's what we plan to do. And then in addition, what I'm doing today is part of the celebration.
Okay, let me take a final call. Dr. from Ijesha. Thanks for calling, Dr.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, I'm Dr. from Ijesha. Okay, I like the last caller said, concerning buying a product with SON sticker and getting, and it's not a quality product. I've done that. I've announced, especially car battery. I'll tell my friends, since you have SON sticker on it, it's a standard product. But to my surprise, you are not getting it. It's not a good battery. So please, I want to advise, if it's possible for me, just what NAFDAC did. When they want to fish out imported toothpaste, they condemn it, they advertise people, they tell them these products are not good. If you guys can work with PSCN, you tell them now what people are buying is power saving electronics. If you see now, people are not buying Tokumbo AC any longer. We are buying AC that doesn't consume light. So if you can do that, tell people that all these products, the blender, this thing, they consume more light. So these ones, the Nigerian ones, they don't consume.
All right.
I think that's well. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, you see, what he said is something that I've been advocating. When you buy a product that is substandard, don't throw it away. Bring the receipt, bring the product. If you don't have time to bring, we have 48 offices. Like in this Lagos, we have about 6 offices between here and Ogun State. So you have close access to us. If you don't want to do that, take a picture of the product, take a picture of your receipt, email it to us. Okay. You don't want to do that, put it on Instagram, put it on Facebook, and call us on the phone. Because the point is, maybe that particular product that we certified, they brought the correct one, right? And then we give them the certificate. And then they went and changed the product and put the wrong one. So now the consumers are the watchdogs. When they find products that are bad, they call our attention to it. Then we'll go back and inspect the whole thing again and do it. So it's important for us. You see, our culture a lot here is the fact that when something bad happens to you, you just curse the person or you're saying,
let God handle it.
I'll move it, and God will handle it. If you allow, most of you have traveled overseas. You've seen how even Nigerians who live there for more than a year behave now. You put your money, you say, oh, no, this is not good, I'm taking it back. So that's what I want Nigerians to do. If it is not good, take it back, ask for your money. If they refuse to give you your money, come to us. We have customer service, we have negotiating people who will now negotiate on your behalf to get your money back and then find out why that person is producing those products.
As long as that product has the sticker, you can do this anywhere across Nigeria in any of your offices.
Even if there is no sticker, when you see a bad product, bring it. That would be an opportunity for us now to go and say, how come you didn't give us this for us to test?
Okay. We have to wrap up. Let me let you final question.
How tight is palm? such that, Nigerians with, criminal mindset don't try to infiltrate your system of security?
We have about 11 security markers. The PAM that is operating in Kenya, Rwanda, and Uganda have 3. And we have 11 security markers on ours. So we made sure we actually exceeded beyond. We are more secure, honestly, than the Naira. Yeah. So we have a lot of.
Just PAM, the catchphrase.
Yeah, just PAMing.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank
it was
you
a
very
pleasure
much.
having you on the show.
Yes.
I think we just keep up to date with what you're doing, because it's important that we get standards right. And once your PAM is launched, let us know.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, that's all we can take on this segment. When we come back, we move to hot topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Ikechukwu Sunday Okonkwo, aka Cross. Now your intro without
wow.
So there's a name that's.
I'm just drinking because you say I should drink. There's no particular answer.
You think it's only that can be wicked?
What's the answer?
Subterfuge.
Eh?
Yeah. They claim you did, but you said it just happened. That
and it's called what again?
Subterfuge.
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 So you look me finish from head to toe. You look at a person who go know what to become subterfuge. Yeah?
The nude wasn't like a game plan. Or...
I promise you, it was actually a mistake. It was sending it to someone, and it just mistakenly just went there.
Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome the grand comedian of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Gbenga Adeyinka the First. OJ right here, 7 of 7, like you already know.
Gbenga right here, 7 of 7, like I'm beginning to know.
It's now time for the question.
You don't scare me one bit. Bata, I go drink. So.
Okay. So now one chance for enter. My first question. Do you remember the names of the winners of that edition of StarQuest?
Of course I do.
Why do you?
And I hate myself for this, because I have this question for you. Final question. No. Where outside Nigeria and what year? I think you're the only one that can be wicked.
I am thinking, because I know back in the day.
Don't think. Answer my question quick. You are thinking too much. I don't like it.
The UK.
Final answer. Okay. I said, God, please, let me to perform outside Nigeria.
Wait.
And God gave me a show in Ghana. Drink, my friend, drink. I don't
overthink this thing. See where I can.
Yes, you overthink them.
I would say you should catwalk.
Let's catwalk. Where are we?
No, that's not catwalk.
That's good walking.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table.
Thanks for staying with us. So we have a guest coming in very soon as a celebrity guest. But first, there's a hot topic actually going on social media, which we think is noteworthy of conversation. A famous on-air personality, his name is Kayode Ojualakpe Oladotun, probably known as Dotun on social media, is married to a lady, Omotaya, who is supposed to be Dibanje's wife. Sister. Dibanje's sister. They got married in 2013, very glamorous wedding. Everybody was talking about it. It was a big wedding. Then in 2022, the wife prayed for a divorce, wanted a divorce, saying that her husband, accused her husband of domestic violence and emotional abuse. The lawyers have been going back and forth with this matter. Now, the reason why we're discussing is because Dotun frustrated because, according to him, the court has given him a joint custody such that during holidays, he's supposed to have access to his children. And for whatever reason, he tried to get his children, and the children weren't handed over to him. And then she alleged that he came over and forcefully tried to get into the house and, getting violent and beating up and, security operatives and stuff like that. Anyways, where we are right now is that Dotun has gone on social media and has gone all out to put out the issue out there. Now, because the case is in court, we may not be able to talk on the matter specifically, but we always like to pull out lessons from these kind of situations where two celebrities or two known people coming together, getting married, having this fanfare wedding, and then the fact that they decide to separate ways becomes a national conversation. And then the issue of custody. Why is always custody always an issue? Why don't we have a mature situation where both parties understand? Why can't we have a seamless divorce where adults understand that the children the children's welfare is at stake and they're able to go their separate ways without getting everything all messy? I think that's a real conversation. But what are your own initial thoughts on what happened? And then we'll take the lessons or the learnings we want to take from this entire experience. Would like to go first, Mariam?
Okay. So for me, I think one of the things that struck me was he talked about how when the story first came out, it was really her part of the story a lot of people heard. Right. And based on what she said and how she described him, he came across as a violent husband, and a violent person. And so maybe she now got more public sympathy because of that, because based on what she said, he was painted and put in a box as a violent person. But then on social media, he's releasing videos that make it seem like she had cooked up that story, that did not look like the person she described. He seemed to have gone there and even politely asked, for the children. So I think for me, the part of the story that struck me is that we need to be careful also as viewers of these things, how we quickly jump into conclusions, I know that usually in cases like this, we tend to go with the wife, we tend to go with the mother, but sometimes until you hear the other side of the story, you can never be too sure what's happening in a home. We've had, and that reason I took because we've had a story here where we had someone who had called us as the wife and mother, and she didn't have custody and talked about almost like she was in a violent situation. When finally we were able to talk to the father, who decided to keep quiet publicly, but we heard that he was actually the better parent. He was the non-violent one. And because he has kept quiet outside for the world to hear, he's been described a certain way. So really, marriage, there's so much going on. And sometimes it can be very different from what it is expressed online. Right. And so that's why it's important for the courts to be able to handle this. But in his own case, it seems that they've come they're at an impasse where the court has said, release these children to him during the holidays, but he's unable to get them still. So that's the contempt of the court. It comes down to the fact that we don't respect our courts. Our government, we say, does not respect. Even Nigerians, do we respect our courts? And that's why.
Nima, you want to jump in here?
When two elephants fight, the grass suffers. The way I see this, these two adults don't know how to be adults enough when they have a fight. Don't know how to respect each other and respect those whose dependence on them will also be affected by their actions. So I don't know the details. I wasn't in their marriage. they have divorced. What we are discussing here is that one person cannot see children, the other person has the children, and probably that person that has the children is saying, don't see your dad. And so you must explain. That's one thing that what happens when you're fighting. If you just to keep quiet, the children will make up, you know, things by themselves. You don't want to disturb the psyche of a child by not answering or answering wrongly or even telling them things that do not really concern them. So you might have been married to a bad person and you know. But if you wake somebody up and tell the child, your daddy,
the wicked man.
It's a wicked man, he had not correct. It's because of your daddy that rain fell inside my room. It's because of your daddy that my car cannot move. You people see what your daddy now have done now. Yeah. You know, those kind of things, you just sort of mess up with the kids. So I think people should be ready for marriage and the possible other side of marriage in case you fall out with your partner. Because they say foundation. All of us, not be everybody foundation this when we're married. But how ready are you that, you know, is a possible exit and co-parenting is an option.
Exactly.
You know, because we will not have gotten here if he gets his kids and he goes out with them and he comes back and they, you know, except you have a proper ground for him being an unfit parent
for the children. And that should also be determined by the court, not even you, because you may think he's unfit.
And you are
the one that is actually unfit. When I saw the story, I was like, not again. Do we have to involve children again? Can't we just do this thing quietly? At what point does this love turn to hate so bad that you don't want to see this other person? You don't want the person to be a part of their children's lives. At what point? You know, because when you're in that relationship and it's sweeting you, the love of my life, the sugar in my tea, the kokoro in my bread, and everything. At what point the love of your life now turn to the wicked person who is pursuing you? That you now want to stop everything just to show this person pepper. And women over the years have always used their children as a tool to fight in their battles. And I think it's wrong. We've been talking about this. We'll keep talking about it. Be mature enough to understand that these kids are not involved in the quarrel. And I always mention one of the things I respect my father for till tomorrow is the fact that he did not tell me the details of what happened. I found out as an adult. He didn't call me one day. I know he gets upset and he will just pass some words, but he didn't tell me how this happened, how that happened, how I will not let you see this person. He didn't give me all of that. I found out what happened as an adult, and I will always respect him for that. Though initially, you know, when kids don't understand what has happened, you always see one parent as the villain. Yes. Depending on the stories. But can we be mature enough to allow these children find out by themselves? Give them their time to mature and grow. Don't distort their mental well-being because you want to, you are too upset. You want to pass, you want to let them know what you're feeling. They were not there when you fell in love with this person. They were not there when you decided to marry this person. They did not beg you to bring them to life. So leave them to grow. If you need to co-parent. If you need family members, you know, back in the days, it's family that handles this sort of thing for us. You know, but now our fences are so long, we don't want extended family members. But back in the days when things happen like this, for instance, my grandmother took me because let me just carry the children, me and my younger ones, away from these two stupid people. Took me. She raised me till she died before my father now came and took, you know. So where are the parents? Where are the family members who say, we don't want these children involved in this? We need to go back to the way we're doing things that worked for us before.
Okay, so you said something which I thought was important, because who determines who is unfit? Because the truth is that I would like to believe that there's no mother that would like to keep her children away from their father. Everybody understands the need for two parents. However, for a mother, hear me out, please. Somebody would naturally want to see that the child is raised by two parents. Unfortunately, life happens where you feel that this man is unfit, or he doesn't have a job, or he's into a bad gang, or he's a cult member, or whatever it is. There are things you see that you say, I don't want this man involved in my children's life. Now, at what point when both of you have divorced, do you have a conversation where, because we've seen Jada Pinkett Smith, I mean, we have so many people's stories of divorce where they are co-parenting, and at some point they realize this thing cannot work, let's move on. So my question is, at what point do we, how do Nigerian parents especially have that conversation of, you are a member of a cult, you are doing this. I don't want that in my children's life. Allow me. Why were two adults unable to trust each other? Where I can't have the kids with me, or you stay with the kids, I'll be visiting. Why is that so difficult for us to understand?
Well, it's just like Miriam said. Sorry, no, we don't ever respect the courts. So what I said you have to show is very unfit. I meant you show the courts that he's a drug addict, a cult member. Not be say you know in your secret mind. Do you understand? You now just estrange him from his kids. You know, and you're willing with receipts and evidence to show the court. This is the court that will now rule. Ogbeni, don't go close. 10 meters, 20 meters.
But there's something called that instinct that I know this man wants to take my children to Jamaica. I'm just saying, I'm done. I'm not speculating. We're moving away from the call.2 and no matter issue, because we're not talking about a man. So a woman is thinking, this man wants to take my children to Jamaica. He wants to run away with my kids. I cannot allow him to take this case. That's the reason why I don't trust him. This your custody. The court is saying allow him doing weekends. That's different. I have that inkling. I'm not sure I can hold it, but I know this man is going to take this child away. Or I know this woman will take my children and run away with them. So that is also there.
That's the risk that you must face as a parent. If a court orders that he is fit and he should have access to his kids, let him have access. If he runs away with your kid, you then come to the court and let them know this person has abused this order. He has run away with the kids. I have full custody. Visitation don't turn to abduction. You go and show a civil court. It's not because recently I was handling one where both of them were parents and they have not even finalized their divorce, but they agreed between themselves, let me have the kids sometime, you have the kids some other time. So the mother now thought, oh, I don't want to leave these kids anymore. I want to take them abroad. And the man said, no, these kids are not leaving, because she now lives abroad. I want to take them. There's nobody who has decided custody. And the moment she took her kids, he went to file an international abduction and kidnapping against a parent. It is an exclusively civil matter, and it was sad that the police officer, the IPO that took that report initially, allowed him to fly with the mindset that she could abduct her kids. If there's a court order, yes, that means she has violated the court order. But if it's both of us that are agreeing, just as you can carry your children, she can carry her children. So there's no parents abducting any child, and it's a civil matter.
Agbeze, I'll come to you, Mariam. Agbeze, thanks for calling.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, I want to
Can't hear you. Okay, go ahead.
I just want to make a statement that not by application. Just it's not a opinion.
Agbeze, I can hardly hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Okay, I said my opinion is not tied to the particular case in issue you're discussing, but it's also connected with so that people will understand some of these things in a general sense. When there is such issue, there is a presumption that the woman, because we are talking of a child, by the definition of a child under the Child Rights Act, is somebody under 18 years. So once a child is under 18 years, it's a child. Once the issue of the marriage is under 18 years, presumed to be a child. By that law, it's a child. So there is presumption that the woman takes care of the child, or the child psychologically is closer to the woman than the man. So on the face of it, people expect that the court should give such an order that the children stay with the woman once they are under 18. But that does not preclude the man from seeing them when necessary or when he desires. It amounts to infringement. It amounts to contempt of court, contempt ex facie. If the woman refuses the man to see the children, being in custody of the woman is not to hurt the man, but it's because the law presumes that everything you do, in fact, under the Child Rights Act, it says that you must do something in the interest of the children first.
Right.
So there is presumption that the woman should take care of the children better than the man at that stage. So that is just the reason why the children are set to stay with the woman. And that should not preclude the man from seeing his children. So it's contempt ex facie.
All right. So, thank you very much, Mr. Agbaizi.
Yes. So earlier you were saying that why is it that they find it so difficult, at least for the sake of the children, to come to an agreement? I want to say that to find this sort of issue in a broken marriage or broken relationship is not uncommon, and it's not what's the word now? It's not alien. I feel that that's a product of broken relationships. Remember, we're talking about two people who have gotten to a point where they feel they don't trust each other, they don't love each other, and in some cases see each other as enemies. And then they look at their children as, I'm the only one that can protect my child. This one who is my enemy, there's no how this person can take care of my child without me being there. But then you've gotten to a point where even the court is saying that, you know, you can do it together. And this is where it's more like an appeal, especially, you know, in the early days of this separation and this divorce, which is, I know that the emotions is usually, you know, the emotions are high. But if we can put the children above the emotions, if you can just maybe remember these conversations, and usually people like this, you're surrounded by family members who are able to tell you, put the children above these feelings. These feelings will come and go, but the children, what is best for them? Is it best for them to have both parents involved in their lives? It's true. It's better if there's nothing that we can say, you know, it's not that we're dealing with an abusive parent or we're dealing with a criminal in this case. This is just the fact that we're not together anymore. But the children, if they're given an... the second part of this conversation was where you said that somebody's afraid, you know, that they may run with the child or abscond with the child. The truth is, you will have those fears. It's okay to have them. But put the children first, solve those issues eventually, but the children can always give your child the opportunity. Do not deny your child the opportunity of getting to know a parent, especially when the parent does not deserve to be taken away from that child. Do not deny a child the opportunity of getting to know their mother and love their mother if the mother has not done anything that would endanger the child, if it's just really about your feelings, or vice versa with the fathers.
Let me quickly take this call and come to your final comments. Good morning, Miracle from Lagos.
No.
Yes, you're live. Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Oh, yes. So, you know, sometimes when the emotions are flying up and down, we don't settle down to think properly. We don't see, we don't rationalize, we don't see clearly. Clearly, there's no clarity, and so we work based off our painful emotions at the time. Because I've often seen that even those people who drag the children the most do not even have the capacity to take care of the children they are dragging. They are dragging them into suffering, as a matter of fact, but because they want to have that upper hand, is me, Shebi, this thing is not working again, I will show you Pepe. They carry those children. But can we get to a point where in your calmness, you see that I may not even have the capacity to raise these kids without this man? Can we work together, or can you carry these children? But we are always afraid of, hey, maybe another wife will now go there and start maltreating my children. This one will not happen, that one will not happen. They will now say, so that's how your husband drove you out of the house and you did not even go with your children. You are a heartless woman and all of that. Can we put those things aside and pay attention to what these kids need?
Okay, we'll continue. We have to wrap up, unfortunately. That's all.
Respect your in-laws. Respect the family. Then they take sword fight, fire fight, or flood fight. These are your kids, and their grandparents. You get to that point, and it's more time now. They're 18. They're out of your hands. It's small. No be online fight.
All right, that's all we can take on that. When we come back, we'll bring in our guest, our celebrity guest. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the black table.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Made Kuti in the view. It's still 7 of 7, and we've been doing a whole lot of protesting. The only thing that remains is just to carry placard.
It's about 5 of 7, to be honest, because ask your question. I have so much to speak about once we finish.
We'll not give you the time because it's 7 of 7.
I will make the time now. He said he will not ask questions about science.
No,
neuroplasticity.
And based on
he asked a question that was subjective about high life, and he did not finalize his answer about a Kuti question where there are only 3 of us.
Editor, scratch this part out.
That could have possibly composed the music.
Editor, scratch this part out.
Stupidity is an act of ignorance.
Hey God, Made.
Was composed by which Kuti?
Femi Kuti.
Is that your final answer?
God, I'm Effiong Kuti. No, wait, Femi Kuti.
You said
Femi Kuti. Wait.
You can't be allowed.
No, you've not asked me anything.
Everyone.
You've not asked me anything. So my final answer.
No. All I have to say is this show is really about drinking.
Yeah, that's the whole idea.
The questions don't matter.
That's the whole
Justice
idea.
is out the window.
We throw caution to
we
the
have
wind
no
right
morals here.
On the 7 of 7. Ladies and gentlemen, please help welcome to the show, La General, the one and only Pere Egbe. Which of the following is false about teeth? We are born with 20 primary teeth. Teeth are the hardest substance in the body. Teeth are the strongest bones in the body.
Teeth is not a bone, actually.
Teeth can self-repair.
The strongest bone in the body, no. Teeth is not a bone.
Final answer?
Teeth is not a bone. You know what came to my head now? That sound. Crickets.
So, editor, you can put that cricket sound there. You can still put it down too.
When was the first Gulda Ultimate Search? Editor?
Don't put any cricket sound. I'm talking. Okay, Pere. How many times has Ghana qualified for the World Cup?
5 times. Hey, bro, you can't do that now.
That's what it is.
Wait. Calm down. Why are you like this?
This is your team.
Small play now.
They will not
Somebody cannot play with you again.
They will not be impressed though. The team that you're supporting and
Ghana will be all right.
Yeah, that's last.
Charlie? Cheers, Charlie.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear.
Thanks for staying with us. He's the tech guru, filmmaker, who's making a great impact in the movie industry. He's also the CEO of Anacle, a prominent digital agency who has just produced and directed brilliant movies like Up North, Day of Destiny, and the latest sensational blockbuster, The Black Book. Welcome with us, Editi, Effiong in the building. Good to have you. You know, honestly, when I think it was Richard Doyle, I said, Eddie don't do film about a few weeks back before the movie came out.
Yeah.
Which movie is Eddie? Which movie? When now came out, I go, oh, that's the Eddie don't do film.
Yeah.
But how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Congratulations on the new blockbuster. It's doing pretty well on Netflix. Well done. And I mean, I really thought it was an interesting movie. Tell us a bit about the scripting. How do you come about the script, or was it sold to you? Did you buy it? Did you do it yourself? How exactly was that? Did you come about the script for this movie?
I start by like how I describe myself. I'm an entrepreneur working in tech, advertising, and film. And generally, when I do a thing, I just put everything into doing a thing to like, you know, be the best I can be at everything I do. So I do understand that when people meet with me, because I work in tech, they don't expect that I'll be an artist.
Yeah.
You know, so they ask about who I bought the script from, and because they don't expect that because I write code, I don't write script. Like I grew up an artist. I grew up in a home with like full of books. So my dad had like master's degree in linguistics. That means that I grew up in a house where it's books, just books. I read the entire African Writer series. I was 12 years old.
Great.
I read Things Fall Apart when I was 11 going on 12.
Wow.
I read A Man Died when I was 14. and then it was the most complicated book I'd read. And then, you know that thing, you're reading a book and you feel like you should drink olive oil so your brain would find. But yeah, so it's that upbringing that it stays with you. It allows you to become so many different things. My dad didn't want me to be an artist, obviously, so he ensured that everything was science. So I was surrounded by science.
Oh, wow.
I was a pure science student, like pure absolute science student. So I can understand the world from all the different sides of it. I worked in tech, I worked in marketing, I worked in oil. My actual first job was in oil.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Let me let our viewers watch this clip before coming to more questions on the new movie.
I sinned terribly in my past. God took away my son to punish me. I accept.
You're the father of a dangerous criminal.
But accusing my son of what he is not, that I cannot accept.
Get out of the fucking car now!
Do you know what you have done?
Why do you know so much yet say so little? I mean, who are you?
There are some grudges that should be taken to the grave.
You forget you do not have full control. Right now, you don't have full control. Now, which one of you killed my son?
I don't want to rewatch that movie, and I have the bumps. I had goosebumps. I was going to talk about the script, but let me let you jump.
I wanted to ask, you know, some part of the movie looks so real. And some movies have been done in the past where I thought, this scenes look so real. And they said, no, we didn't shoot it there. How did you shoot the market scene, the Lagos Island scene where Shafi Bello looks like a proper Lagosian? That movie, and she spoke some Yoruba. How did you shoot? Did you shoot in the market, in the Lagos Island market?
We built 38 sets during the course of this film. 38. So you see things that look super real, thanks to a man called Pat Nebo, recently passed.
Oh yes, I know Pat Nebo very well.
Yes, Patnibo was magical, and we worked for 6 months before we shot the film, and he built mini sets just to, if you want to create a world in film and you want people to believe in that world, the first thing you do is build that world so that people see it and it feels real to them. Once you feel it feels real, then people then believe whatever the actor does within that set. And everything that is not a human being on a set is production design. And it's how you allow humans and audiences believe in what you're portraying in the film. So now to the market, that was Lagos Island, right? Because you have to recognize the landmarks, you know, so you believe that this person is, this woman is a Lagos Island market woman. However, the next thing you do is now build the characters into that location. So that was Lagos Island, a big, huge street, part of the market on Sunday morning. It's empty, absolutely empty. And so we arrived there by 6 a.m. and by 10 a.m. we have brought in 300 extras. We brought in wares. We brought everything in, and then I shared like a thing where like the extras are just standing there, you know, just waiting, and then action, everyone starts moving. Hey, Muffin, you know, like,
the real market scenery.
But the thing is, you don't notice when you watch the making of it is that the extras are all quiet. They don't make any sound. The sound is recorded secondary, you know, because if you did that, you couldn't hear the actors.
Of
And not
course.
just that, like this actor who is going through the market is 59 years old at this point. And in 2021, COVID is still there, and that is the most at-risk age demographic.
Of course.
So we have to test over 30, every single person who has contact with him have to test for COVID so that, because actors can't wear masks. So that is...
So the RM do not catch COVID.
Exactly. So that is just like the technicality, the logistics of actually making that scene.
So we're told that you did some parts in the north.
In Kaduna, we shot in Lagos.
Yes. What inspired that, having like a difference? Because normally when we see most producers, they will like a place like Lagos and some other western villages, depending on what they want to get. But why did you pick the north? What feel were you looking for?
Authenticity and simplicity.
Okay.
It's the thing we always defaulted to. And my first film was Up North. It was the
Which
first.
I love.
Yeah, it was until the Black Book. The Up North was the biggest film ever done in the North. And in 2015, after the elections, I kind of felt like there was a disconnect with the country that I didn't understand. And to fix that for myself, I started traveling the entire country. Ended up spending a lot of time in the North, and it was in Zamfara. I was lost in. We're not lost. We just ran out of water. And in Boko, in Zamfara, Boko is fantastic because it's got this like miles and miles of like beach sand. It's ridiculous, like a river, you know the northern rivers, how they are, and then there's a lot of beach sand. But we ran out of water, and then I went to this house and knocked and asked for water. It's an old woman. Usually, northern homes are in compounds where the women live inside, but for some reason, this old crazy woman was like on the outside.
I'm a rebel.
Yeah, and so she brought us water, but then she also brought food. It might have been her last meal because she was a poor woman. And I came out of that trip with a thing. I always say to people that people are just people. They're looking for the same things. They have the same wants and needs, and they're just everyone's like us. And I'm like, the second thing I say is I'm going to write about this place. I'm ready to make films, and this is where I want to start. And so I started writing the outline of this Effiong boy or Ibibio boy, anyway, from my place, who's rich, is coming from Lagos to the north to do his NYSC. So the north had sort of like got its tentacles into me. The texture of the north, the people in the north, it's just the way people are. And for me, and then historically, Nigeria, everything in Nigeria history passes through. There was a time you can't do anything without passing through Kaduna. It just made sense, you know. So that's
so. You know, watching the movie and looking at you, I see you. I mean, you know, in movies you can say you see the actors, but I see the producer in it, and I now understand your story and how it's reflected. So you're artistic, you're creative, and you're also into tech. So I see how you've told the story in such a way that, you know, you've brought, because first of all, when it comes to action movies, we think of Oyinbo action movies, but you made it Nigerian. So you, and then the way, of course, you put it showed your tech strength as well. So, you know, I'm understanding that who we are, how we grow up, you know, just reflects in everything that we do. And, you know, earlier when you came in, I was like, you seem different from your Twitter, your Twitter persona. So how would you say, because of the way that you are and you have turned out, and then you have young people who are looking to be in this business, how would you encourage them, you know, to just do what they're doing and it will somehow reflect the way it's doing with you?
I'm going to reference Paul Adima's character in the film. He is a deacon, a preacher, a man of God. He's a guy who works in a factory, right, and drives heavy equipment. He is also a former assassin. He is a community leader. People love him in his community. He's a philanthropist. But he is also a bad person. People are complicated.
At the same time.
People are complicated. Every human being is complicated. And when people get in front of a TV, in front of a screen on TV appear, no one knows what is going on in your life or your life or your life. We humans, we tend to put our best foot forward in front of strangers. We always have to remember that the person on Twitter is always putting the best foot forward, trying to put the best of themselves forward. Right? But beyond that, people are just people. Everyone has things that they are dealing with, you know, and you do not know. And so I think that is ultimately what drives the way I create, to explore the humanity under the veil of what we put to the world.
You know, I admired the depth in the scripting, which I'd like to go back to, because each of the characters were quite intense. Every single character had some kind of a history, just like you just explained right now. Tell us about how were you able to characterize every single role? I mean, those roles were quite different. The generals, the Shafi Bello's role, and you also brought all those veterans together. Some of those veterans that was not even seen on screen. Yeah. Was it intentional? I mean, or did you want to just have? You didn't think of bringing in new faces? I mean, I just saw quite a number of veterans that we haven't seen in a while in Hollywood.
For casting, I work with Lala Kendoji. For scripts, I work with Bumi Ajakie. Hi, Bumi. Sorry, I murdered your name right there. Bumi is like one of my favorite people. I did promise to ruin Bumi's life because Bumi named a shit character after me. There's this thing like artists do when they play this little pranks.
To you here.
Yeah. And well, I haven't done that to Bumi yet. I'm going to name a character after her. It's going to be a terrible character. Anyway, so it was really a lot of fun creating this characters and exploring. And to be very honest with you, the film is 2 hours long, and it could have been 4 hours. The first cut was 4.5, so we have 2.5 hours of film, you know, on the edit room floor.
You're kidding me.
There's so much exploration that could have been done. The characters, you know, the depth of them, that we ended, like, you have to balance for pace and, you know, just keep people's attention. But that said, creating the characters, the idea for us was to ensure that every character seemed human. Every character was grounded in the reality of Nigeria. Yeah. For example, we had a U.S. Marine come in and train RMD, fighting, weapons handling. Yes, but it was important to us that the fight does not look like Hollywood.
That's the Nigerianization you did.
Right, we could have easily done the Hollywood flicks and stuff, but it was important to fight with fists. Yeah, and so you know that thing where the people are fighting and they're using like a specialist equipment. I'm like, no, use
what we know.
Use the thing in the kitchen. Hit this guy on the head with a flask. You know, so that is how we structured and made it look Nigerian. You know, the chase scene, for example, could have been like a nice fancy car. Yeah. But someone is playing with my mic here.
So you know, there's something I liked about the movie. That there were times of where it felt so real. You know, when RMD walks into and he bang someone, his head on the table. That felt so real because I understand that sort of impulsive anger that could have made him do that. You know, it didn't
He's been holding in for a long time.
Yes, and you grab that, you know, and that's what makes movies exciting. Like, I can relate to that feeling, I can relate to that emotion, and I love that you did that with the movie.
So there was a reason I didn't finish the movie, The Weapons, and I had to.
So authenticity means that, like, you have to, if I'm pointing a gun at a person in the film, that gun better be real. Because, and so I avoided new guns. We worked with the police, and the IG of police gave us like approval for it. Took a while. It took about a year of work with the military.
But no bullet, yeah.
They fire bullets.
Hey, you know what happened with Alec Baldwin?
There's a process for gun safety. I'm a trained weapons handler. So when the weapons guy comes in, brings it, tests weapons, the props guy tests the weapons. But before any gun gets on my set, I test the weapons myself as well.
Wow.
All right, and I disassemble, make sure that every single, and some days we had up to 100 guns on set. And then so you have to like disassemble every single one of them, be sure that it's safe. But like it was important that we don't use new guns, and so that the guns that get on set, they look like these guys have been. They feel real. They feel like they've been in action.
You decided to open your books, show us or tell us how much you spent. And this is not the norm in Nollywood.
And a lot of money.
Yes, it's not the norm. People just want to cover, so you may probably don't scare people who are trying to get into the business or for whatever reason. But what informed you opening your books to the world, and what do you think that would do for the Nollywood industry?
Violence is the enemy. That is the enduring lesson out of the Black Book. Silence is the enemy. Silence is the enemy of growth. Silence is the enemy of progress. For as long as we do not speak up about the things that we need to see, then we become the enemy of the growth that we are trying to build. Wow. And so it's the same thing. We can't say in film that silence is the enemy and we are not speaking up about the things that... the Black Book cost $1 million to make, yes. But when you look at it, the performance on Netflix, it wasn't competing against African pictures. It was competing against global films, Hollywood. Tens of millions of dollars in budget, a few $100 million budget, but it was competing on an equal footing.
How did that make you feel? Because, you know, in a few days it was out, and then we all saw the ratings. How did that make you feel? Especially how much you had spent.
I think. Gratitude. I always told the guys on my set from the day one that we met that if we met the film that we want to make, that we would break things, that we would do something. I thought we were going to be a global film. I thought we were going to make a global film. I think that the world needs to be ready for African storytelling. We can make films that compete globally. We do not need to attach Hollywood artists. We do not need to bring foreigners to come to make global films. We can make films Africans, by Africans, for Africans. But the world
gets on board.
Black Book was #1 in South Korea. It's still trending in South Korea. It's trending in China. So yet 2 days ago, Chinese TV came to interview us because, dude,
what are you doing? You got to run out of time.
Have we run out of time?
Oh,
thank you very much. Time's up. You have to run. But
thank you so very much for having me.
I'm looking forward to your next project, and I am wishing
just enjoy this project.
This one, I mean, it's a huge.
No, actually, I'm already in script review for January. I'll be shooting in January.
Oh, yeah, that's
amazing.
All right, that's all we can take on today's show. Join Veronica and the other ladies on the Yourview tomorrow. See you later then. Have a great weekend now.